Right then, welcome back to the channel. Last 5 things of the Premier League season. Just one more to go with the FA Cup final this weekend, which is either going to be a very, very happy one or a pretty depressed one. And you can probably take your pick as to which one that's going to end up being come Sunday morning. Interesting, weird game against Fulham. You've got players probably playing within themselves a little bit of an opportunity for some players to maybe change the manager's thinking and put themselves in the picture to start in the FA Cup final. But let's start with De Gea's penalty save. So David De Gea made an exceptional penalty save, which seemed like it energised the crowd, and it obviously showcases his ability as a goalkeeper, and something that he's not done anywhere near enough of as a goalkeeper, something that we could do with seeing a hell of a lot more from him. And it obviously there's a massive decision to be made whether he gets a contract extension or whether Manchester United are going to flip that into signing another goalkeeper. But his penalty save seems to give the team a little bit of a lift us out of that little bit of a funk and get us going to go and get the 3 points and play with a little bit of pride, because it started off a little bit slow. It started off like United kind of were, I don't know, weird. Number 2, like we said, slow start. We started sloppy. There was misplaced passes. There was a lack of concentration. There was a lack of ball retention. And that started to pick up after De Gea's save. And ultimately, it's left us with a really good home record. I think it's actually broken a record for the number of home wins that we've had for a long time. I think it's 20 years since we've had as many home wins, and that's one of the pleasing things about Erik ten Hag this season. Is in fact, I can remember me and Jay Motti standing outside Old Trafford when we were linked with Mourinho. Obviously this is a long time ago now, when we were first linked with Mourinho, and the thinking at the time, 2016, where does the time go? And the thinking at the time was, wow, the one thing we know Jose is going to do is going to make Old Trafford a fortress. And it didn't really happen. And it wasn't an expectation that we had for Erik ten Hag, even though it's sort of an expectation that as a football fan, you want to be good at home. You want to have good home form. It just sort of happened with Erik ten Hag. Didn't start well. Certainly didn't start well. But whatever it is that he's done, that's given us a platform for the successes that we've had this season. We've put all of the top 6 sides to the sword at some point over the course of the season, with the vast majority of them coming at home. It's just about what can we build on that now and get some of that away as well. And if we can, we're going to be a problem. Jadon Sancho, a really improved performance. Whether it was because he was switched over to the right-hand side or not, I can't imagine it being that simple and straightforward. But it was an improved performance from Jadon Sancho, and he's been showing some nice signs lately. Not consistently high performing, but some flashes of real brilliance have started. Now, he's obviously had a fucked up season with whatever happened in the middle where he had to go away, and there's all sorts of rumours as to the reasons and speculation as to why he had to go away. But he did go away. Things weren't right. The manager allowed him to go disappear, to sort himself out, and I don't know if you can say that it absolutely 1000% worked, but there is a bit of a tune coming out of Jadon Sancho. He was taking risks in his dribbling. He was showing really good link-up play with Rashford. He was causing trouble for the Fulham defence, showcased his skills by beating his man time and time again. And he had some crosses which could have resulted in goals from us. Really, really solid performance from him. With Anthony expected to be out for a while, I think Sancho's going to play. It's just whether is he going to play on the left or is he going to play on the right? Is he maybe going to go with Bruno off the right, maybe Fred down the centre, push Rashford over to the middle, and have Sancho on the left? These are the things that I imagine Ten Hag's going to be toying with over the next few days as he plans out what his team's going to be for the weekend. Number 4, let's touch on Tete for a second. He was probably the standout performer, I thought, for Fulham. We saw how good his tackling was. He did score a goal. He had a pretty solid performance overall. And he did really well, especially in the battles against Garnacho. Really made his presence felt. Going head-to-head and keeping Garnacho... the difficult task of keeping Garnacho quiet which I thought he did all right with, in all honesty. And I just thought it was worth mentioning. Often on 5 things, you don't generally tend to touch on the opposition, but I thought it was a decent enough performance from him to talk about. And then number 5, departures. Who have we seen the last of? I think United are going to have to sell some players that are seen as a sellable asset. And there's a handful of those. I wouldn't expect all of these to go, but I think there's a handful of players that are probably sellable assets. And I would say Sancho's in that. That's a big decision I think that Ten Hag's got to make. Can I trust him? Can I rely on him? If not, his value is probably as high as it's going to be right this second. It's probably only going to drop from here. So this might be the prime time to move him on and get a fee for him if there's a buyer. I think Scott McTominay is a fairly obvious one. He hasn't really featured. He's took Mainu over him when he's had the opportunity at times. So I would say, yeah, do you know what? Scott's value is probably quite high. With the FFP situation United find ourselves in, we probably need to move some players off the books. Dean Henderson, rumoured to be worth 30 million. If we get 30 million for him, delighted. That goes straight into the kitty to help reinforce for next season. Sensational. Harry Maguire's probably the first one I think's out the door. Both on ability. The weird situation that he finds himself in as club captain and 4th choice centre-half simultaneously. But also the fact that he's a regular for England, and because we bought him for 80 million, you can probably still get 40 for him, 35, 40 for him. And then it's, can you pick up little scraps here and there? Would someone offer us a fee for Charlie Savage, maybe? Would someone offer us a fee for Zidane Iqbal, maybe? Or some of the youngsters that are a periphery, maybe Amad Diallo. A lot of people are expecting the likes of him and Charlie to come back after their loans, but would it suit the manager to maybe cash in on those and put it towards signing players that he does fancy? Or are those players going to come back and be given an opportunity in the team? Those things remains to be seen. I would say, I think Fred's probably kept himself safe. Delot might find himself on the sale list. There is a lot of money to be raised in players that haven't really featured that United could do with maybe moving on. Then you've got all the ones that are on loan. Tellez, Baye, Axel Tuanzebe, all of them lots. So there's going to be a lot of movement. I think it won't feel like there's too much movement because they've not really been involved. I don't think the first 11, put it this way, is going to change too much, apart from incomings. I wouldn't really expect too many out of the first 11 to go. But that periphery and those, of course, those on loan, I think there'll be quite a lot of movement within those. That's how I see it going anyway. Let me know in the comments. Who do you think will stay? Who do you think will go? Probably do a standalone video just looking at the complete ins and outs that we could have. Busy week. Loads going on. FA Cup final at the end of it. Stay tuned. Make sure to subscribe. See you in the next one. Laters. Hey, thank you for watching the video. If you are new around these parts, then don't forget to subscribe. My channel is proudly supported by my community on Patreon. If you'd like to get a little bit of extra content, a Discord group, meetups, 5-a-side games, weekly podcasts, behind the scenes, and even an occasional bit of transfer news as and when I get it, then for the price of a pint, you can show your appreciation for the content that we make and get some goodies for doing so as well. Check the link in the description or click the button right here. You'll also find all of my socials here too if you want to follow me on any of those platforms. Nice one.